Check one. How's that, Ty? How's that level? Perfect. Sorry, I'm also on, for some reason, a not great latency mode. Let me try to adjust that as we go, because that is pretty huge delay. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, that's a bank that Taylor has. The burger. Sorry, that might not have been inherently obvious. It's a little piggy bank that has a slot on the top of it, but it's just this ceramic burger that sits in our office. Huh. Okay. Let me see if I can switch it from here. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we'll operate in normal latency for today, but until then, we'll just give this a shot. So I'm going to switch over to my gameplay. Let me know if you can hear game sound and level on it. Sorry, I'm also trying some commands on an overlay that is probably not working. But what else is new? Nice. How's the mix of audio versus game audio? I want to make sure that my mix is okay. Just in general. Also, this is like the loudest the game gets overall. Yeah, man, the animations are super easy. I just found the source GIFs for the Pokemon sprites and just saved them and then added them to OBS Studio. Thank God for super basic, easy shit. Okay, let's go to... see. Good. That was the intention. So that's good. All right, let's try this. If that's not going to work, that's going to be a huge pain in my ass. Okay. Sorry, this is not like actual gameplay yet, as I just try out 500 different things to see if shit'll actually work. If it doesn't, that's fine. Oh, you know where I probably need to do that? That would help. All right. Huh. Okay. Well, it sucks if that counter doesn't work, but if it doesn't, what I can do is I can go to this counter, tell that to fuck all the way off. Make that transition. And then, just for funsies, we'll do a normal ass counter. Which is annoying, but that'll be how it'll be. And actually, I'll even do a check. So I'm not gonna play Scarlet at the moment. I'll actually jump into Shield, because that is where I hunt Mawile. There we go. Looks ugly as hell, but that'll work. Oh, I'm not even hunting Mawile right now. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, so in that case, let's actually do this. So, with that in mind, I'm gonna change another thing, because oh shit. Better? Let me know if that's still coming through for both me and the game. How is that possible? Let me know if that's back. I'm curious. Any change? Is that back at all? One, two, two, two. Check, check. 2, 2. 1, 2. 2. Check. 1, 2. Let me know if that's coming through, Ty. Because it looks like... Also, my Switch audio is just low on this game. You should be able to hear that now. Let me know if that switches up. Weird. Let me know if you can hear me at all, Ty. Two, 2. 1, 2. Check. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. God damn. Hmm. And now I'm dead in the water. One, 2. Check. Hey, hey. Okay, so that should be running. That's so weird. Check. 1 2 1 2. 2 2 1 2 2 2. That is so weird. So weird. Check. 1 2 2 2. 2 2. So can you hear me now? That's the question. That's so funny. Can you hear game audio too? Don't worry about it. That's why we do this. Again, like, I'd rather me be confident in my setup so that some jagoff can't tell me that I'm plugged into the wrong source or that I'm not doing the right thing. Levels are still good. Everything's still balanced. because I also have my music turned down in-game specifically to Shiny Hunt. But I'll pop through menus and show some stuff. Let me know what you can and can't hear, and if anything does or does not do the thing. Don't have game audio, but you can hear me. Okay? Let's go to switch capture. Okay. May have to do a quick reset here. Let's see what I can do. All right. I'm not seeing audio capture coming through either. Advanced audio properties. Do. Nope, that's not that. Weird. That's so funny, because I had switch audio that was going through, and now it is not. So let's try to fix that, shall we? I'm gonna kill the game source for a second. Oh, I'm dumb. Hang on, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I know why I'm dumb. I just tried to do 85 different things at the same time, and they were all stupid. Okay. There's that. This should just be this. There we go. You should have game audio now. Let me know if you can hear some form of music or audio coming through. Whoo-wee. So many things to test and to fix and to adjust and to do at any goddamn given time. Woo! All right, sick. Now we're rolling. And I think we're like actually rolling too, which is good. Okay. So, for reference, what I am doing right now is knocking out a bunch of these motherfuckers so that I can get one of these motherfuckers. The goal is to get up to 500 to increase odds, and then it's just running into them until I die. Plain and simple. So until we're at 500, we don't really start a count because odds are not as high. We don't expect to get one until those odds are there. And then we'll just start counting from there. So that's the actual gameplay part of it. Out of curiosity, how is the quality overall? Because it should be pretty okay, but I'm curious, like, is it running 1080? Are there any hitches, any audio hitches, anything like that as we go through? Yeah. So just so you know, I'm going to be running way behind in terms of communicating back and forth. The latency is so bad right now. And that's not your fault. That's absolutely my fault because of the stream setup. Game audio is gone? What the fuck? Oh, I wonder. I think I fixed it. But I think I fixed it. Let me know if that did actually fix it or if I'm full of shit. Cool. Okay, then I finally fucking figured it out, and I'm not a goddamn moron. There we go. Then we're actually in fucking business. Holy shit. Only took a half hour to get there. But, hey. Better than nothing. Cool. Then that works. I'm curious now. So, of course, now that I'm like, haha, now I can play the game. So, I'm curious now. I'm going to do a transition into a Be Right Back screen. There shouldn't be any audio playing. It should just be a Be Right Back screen. Let me know what you see. And if you can hear me, let me know on this screen. Just because I'll need to mute, unmute during those transitions. It can be bigger. There we go. That's better. Okay, good to know. So that's good. That's all I needed in terms of testing. So now I'm just gonna stream. Hang out and do the thing. That's a weird thing. I'm gonna fix it. Oh, I actually hate that. Sweet. Now we just hope for a shiny on my first day streaming back since I got a new computer, which has been about 1 billion years. Yeah, man, no worries. I originally started on Twitch and ended up getting away from it. Last time it ran, my game only had like 30 FPS. Yeah. I used to be over on Twitch for streaming, but because of the way that they've treated a lot of creators, I've kind of moved my stuff over to YouTube. Not because like I make money or off of any of this or do anything like that, but because I don't know, like I just don't want to give my business or like spend my time on a platform that is so awful to some creators. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that. But that being said, I have troubleshot the shit out of Twitch and definitely have done this same process with Johnny, and I did some testing there. Yeah, no, I did the same thing. I mean, for me, I think that YouTube streaming actually has a lot of benefits to it. I know that some people are like, oh, but Twitch is just doing so much better for it. if you're a small person who's just doing your streams, the thing that I really like about YouTube is that your VODs don't go away. So that if you like want to have your what you've streamed, if you want to have all this stuff, like, I mean, I'll be able to look back on this and look at how I was adjusting settings and look at how the layout has adjusted and stuff like that. My old machine could not run the current version of OBS Studio, so I've had an idea of a layout like this in my head for a really, really long time, but I have not been able to execute on it until I got the new computer. So if you're interested in jumping over to YouTube, I would say I highly recommend, because there's just some kind of built-in stuff that I like about it in general. Yeesh, yeesh. That's not what I wanted to do. Whoopsie. Huh. Okay. I wonder if it's because it's coming through OBS. I can't adjust that latency. That would really sting if I got a shiny Aracuda, considering I just got one in Scarlet and Violet. Alright. Yeah, I don't think I will be able to update that or not the delay, the latency. But oh well. Yeah, that's so weird. You would think that they would give you the ability to adjust your latency, but I guess it might be... Oh well. That's fine. Yeah, so now I just do this for a million hours. You definitely do not have to stick around, Ty, if you don't want to, but like, this is what I do on my day-to-day anyway, so I will likely sit around and hang out. I would too. I'm not seeing any articles online about how to adjust it. And when I'm in my stream settings for the current stream that's in the YouTube studio, I have the stream latency menu locked out. It could be that because I set that stream up in OBS that I would need to make those adjustments in OBS, but you can say you're a good luck charm. Taylor has been around for more shinies than I can count, and she has also watched me hunt for like thousands and thousands of encounters and not get shinies when I should have. So, I appreciate it. You are a good luck charm for getting the stream set up, and I appreciate you for that. But yeah, we're just hanging, just doing the thing. Yeah, and I think because I didn't initially... Oh wow, that's so cool. Because I initially set it up in OBS and then started the broadcast, I would assume that because I've started the broadcast, I would be able to like readjust those settings. And I won't play with it too crazy right now, but I will take a look at it for future so that I can be in, hopefully, in ultra low latency. I've been able to stream low latency on my old machine, and if my old machine can stream low latency, there's no reason why my new machine wouldn't be able to do it too. We're just hanging, just chilling. Go. Oy, oy, oy. Sorry, I'm also like responding to texts from my part-timer at work. I'm really lucky that even though it's absolutely crazy right now, I do have a team that can give me some flexibility at work. It's not a lot, but it is some. So when they have questions especially, I try to get back to them as quick as I can. Yeah, that's fair. I think that right now, especially with like, at least for me, with it being the end of the academic year, my motivation is super shot. So I'm trying really hard to, like, for what it's worth, not overwork. I put in a lot of time with the work that I do for my full-time job, so I'm so glad that sound doesn't keep going. The work that I do for my full-time job is really, really stressful up until the end of that academic year. And then a lot of people at the university then have this huge drop-off in work. Not a lot happens for them. But my office then immediately goes right into summer operations, which is in some ways higher stakes because it's all like where we make the money for the majority of the year, at least in terms of like working at a higher education institution. You don't typically see revenue streams coming in through like student affairs associated tasks. So yeah. Just saw what you posted in the Discord too. That's a little better. Sounds good, my man. Talk to you soon. Be well. Alrighty. So there is a hyper significant delay in response time. So this will probably be like a minute to maybe even up to like a minute 30 seconds after you hang up the phone. But hi. So I'm playing and my handy dandy layout. It is in fact both handy and dandy. Ty really liked it. He was like, yeah, you have to help me get up and running at some point. And I'm like, yep, I can definitely do that because I've definitely done enough troubleshooting across both Twitch and YouTube to be able to make things work. When we were troubleshooting, there was a moment where he was like, I've lost all your audio, I'm not sure what's happening. And so I was like, okay, let me figure it out, we'll get it adjusted, we'll fix it up. And I tried running through like a bunch of different things, I made a bunch of changes, made a bunch of adjustments, and he was like, dude, I'm so sorry, I totally just realized that I just muted you by accident. And I was like, oh, well, that's no problem, that's easy. That's a fix that I can do in like 2 seconds. What I couldn't fix is a problem that was like actually like a huge game-breaking problem. So I'd much rather be able to know that my setup was working and that it was an error on his part that fucked it. I hate that this isn't centered on open. There we go. That's what I want. I kept going back and forth on where I wanted my title card placed, but I'm set for now. Hopefully this will be the last time you have to hear dee-doo-dee-doo. Ugh, it's the worst. Okay, I'll knock you out. Pokemon sounds are louder than me. That I can fix. Let me know if that's a little better, Tay. Also, if it's easier, I'm actually curious. Do you want to maybe hop in a Discord call and then I can have you in my ear while I play without having you on stream? Because if that is amenable to you, that's another option. Oi, oi, oi. But yeah, I'm just knocking out Corphish. Doing nothing. Not doing nothing. I really enjoy this, but it's definitely not top 10 most exciting things in the whole wide world. Oh, good. Okay. I'm glad this sounds a little better. in the future we could totally find out a way to get Discord audio running through stream. Oh yeah, that's true. I don't want to mess with your Discord. In the future we can find a way to try to route Discord audio into stream, because that would actually be really cool if we could be on a Discord call live and have your audio coming through too, so that we can just like chat and hang out while we stream. But we're good. Please don't feel like you need to jump on the phone on my account. I'm just here, sitting, being comfy. Ah, I see. Let's try that for a standard audio level, because my in-game audio should be quiet. That's the whole point of me having it as low as it is. So, let's see where I'm at. That's a fish. I don't want a fish. Can you hear your son screaming from the next room? Ugh. Sorry, I had to wipe my nose. Eek. Oh, yeah, I can already imagine that audio level must be way, way better. No stress, T. You do not have any responsibility to talk. I will be here, just knocking out Corphish and eventually healing my Pokemon, and then eventually just running into Corphish back and forth, 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 back and forth. What I don't like is that this is the way that I hunted Nidoran, which is notoriously like my longest shiny hunt ever. Percy is being very loud. If you can't hear him, that's actually probably a good thing. But yeah. So, the way that I'm hunting now is basically exactly in line with how I hunted for Nidoran back in the day, which was knock out a whole bunch of them and then run into him and run into him and run into him and run into him. Oh my god. Ugh. Sorry, I don't mean to keep yawning. I'm having a blast. Like, my brain is like fully buzzing just at the fact that I now have a computer that I can have streaming set up that looks the way that it should. I still have a couple things that I need to figure out. I was not able to get a counter working the way that I wanted it to, and I need to figure out how to do that, because that's like so much of what... Oh, you know what I totally can do? And it's super dumb, but you know what I totally can do? I wonder. Oh, I can totally do that. That'll work. It'll look ugly as hell, but it'll work. What do we call this thing? What's the thing that I use? It's just called a counter. Do want that. Okay, cool. So let's see if I can do this. Okay. So now so now there we go. There we go. work for now. And then this gets deleted. Oh, that's so cool. All right, that'll work. Cool, now I have a live updating counter for every shiny. Or not for every shiny, for every encounter that I get. So that's great. Super handy. Glad I remembered how to do that, and glad that I didn't fuck it up. There's that. Good. Iron barbs, bitch. So the goal is that I need to get to 500. 500 knockouts, and then theoretically any shining, or sorry, any brilliant Corphish, which are the ones in Sword and Shield that have the weird yellow aura, those will have an increased shiny chance. So it's not like a great way to increase odds, but it is a way to increase odds. Solid. My Corphish are faster than me, so now I need to drink 15 cans of lemonade. Did not mean to do that. It's okay. Because Shadow Claw will absolutely knock them out one hit. Iron Head and Gyro Ball, however, less likely. Hey, Johnny. How's it going? Nice to see you, buddy. I don't think I told you, but I got a new computer. So this is my new stream setup. There is a crazy wicked delay. So I apologize if I'm not able to respond in real time as much as possible. I'm also off and on talking to T, who is watching from elsewhere land. So if you hear me just saying nonsense into the ether, it's probably because I'm responding to a message from her at some point. But it's nice to see ya. I imagine that this is either a free period or a lunch break, so I hope you're doing well. Oh shit, didn't hit that from the last one. Taylor says hi as well. Yeah, just having a laid back day, testing out the new stream and seeing how stuff works. We're in pretty good shape so far, so feeling good. Just killing Corphish until eventually one turns slightly more reddish pinky purple. It is a tower. Taylor and I got a new computer for the home because both of our computers are relative trash. They're not trash, they're good machines, but they're not designed for streaming, they're not designed for like big time music production or for any of the stuff that we really do. So we decided that it was time. We found a great deal with Ian's help to get a pre-built computer. Spent a couple $100, or not a couple hundred. I mean, I'll share. It's a power spec pre-built pre-C from Micro Center that we got for under $2,000, which was great. That was what we were looking for, especially considering we were looking for a computer that could be combination gaming. It could be everything. I thought you might be on lunch break, so it is great to hang with you. Yeah. So this is what we're doing. We're just rocking around, doing the thing. And yeah, like I said, I apologize. The delay is busted broken. That's the one thing that I did not do the way that I should have. There is a massive delay because it's in normal latency mode, which is like sometimes almost up to a minute of delay. So please feel free to, if there's stuff that you want to chat about, throw messages in and I'll respond as I can. But know that I'm not like deliberately not looking at messages if my responses are like way behind. Percy is once again yelling at my door, as is the way of the world. I love the graphics updates in the counter as well. I literally just figured out how to do the counter because, again, I'm a super scuffed streamer myself, so I have not done any of this before today at like 9 a.m. So I found the sprites and was able to pull them in so that I could have those targets, because it's also a good reminder for me, not for nothing, like I'll get super distracted and do different hunts or change what I'm focusing on at any given time, but I'll forget flat out like what I was hunting or like what my big targets are. So I wanted to have those up. The counter is tricky because there's not like a built-in way in OBS to have a counter that you can just like tap to tap to progress through, which is weird because I'd always imagine that there'd be like some functionality for like a count up, but I guess it makes sense considering OBS is like the vehicle for that to happen and not necessarily the facilitator. So I'm actually doing a screen capture of another window with a tally counter and just using that because it works. So took very little time to set up. I literally set it up on stream like as you were getting in. I was like kind of rambling to myself as I was chatting with Tay, and I was like, oh, what if I did it this way? And so I have a cropped out window that is ready to go. Really briefly, I'm gonna step away just because I have a super runny nose, so I'm gonna go address that. Give me 1 second. Speaking of new shiny things, we'll be right back. And just like that, he was right back. Okay. Yeah, so that's a new thing too, is I now have like the actual stage so that I can do the stuff that I've always talked about wanting to do. Of like being able to have a be right back screen and have my transition out and all that stuff. I don't have music set up on it or anything yet. Yeah. Taylor also just texted me that she passed a highway sign that said, speed is the enemy of the dark side. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I imagine that somebody who is probably an older human was like, yeah, this sounds badass. Let's do that. Sure. Okay. But yeah, so we now have this awesome computer. It has beautiful, like, we're using the same monitors that I used to use for my laptop, so like everything's super clean, everything's super up to date. Our internet is great because we took all that time to like update it, fix it, make sure that it was at top tier so that we could stream. I've dropped 0 frames in the past hour and a half, so that feels good. Yeah. It's probably because it's May the 4th. I didn't even think about that. I've been reminded of that like 14 times today, and I still have not processed it. I just don't think about it ever. Yeah. I actually will probably consume some Star Wars media today. If later on, especially, if people are not watching, so like Tay's going down to Webster to go out with her mom. Johnny, you'll probably go back to work at some point, I imagine. Maybe. I don't know. But at some point, if there's a lull, what I might do is I might throw up on my other monitor the new season of The Mandalorian, because I've not started that yet. And I really enjoyed The Mandalorian. Last season was okay. But yeah, I'm interested. So, maybe some Star Wars content today. Yeet. Thanks for the sick critical hit when it had 1 HP. Like, I will say, Shiny Ferrothorn, not my favorite Pokemon to use in the whole world, just because I don't think Ferrothorn is like the most spectacular of all Pokemon. But Pike the Ferrothorn is very special to me because if you peep the date on this, Ferrothorn for that reason, not because Ferrothorn's great, but because that Pokemon had a great place on a great team of Pokemon. That first team was Taichi the Graplocked. When you roll a nat 20 to hit, and your bonus is, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Taichi the Graplocked. Oh, what was her name? Dragapult. I can't remember her name at the moment. I know it was female. Pike the Ferrothorn. Shale the Barbarical. Grog the Mamoswine. And there was one last Pokemon on that. Scanlan the Grimmsnarl. Those were the 6. And they were dope. And those were like the first... That was the first like full shiny team I'd ever hunted in the intention of like going for that team. Cool, man. I'm glad that I'm going to be able to have you around. Yeah, for context, by the way, this is the moment when I saw that message that said your next class is at 12:33. So, yeah, we are stinky slow right now. Also, I need to get better about, like, hitting the counter every time that I get a knockout, because, goddamn, am I not good at it. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I thought it was much worse. I am also just somebody who I tend to overestimate in general. Okay, okay, okay. I don't care about the Arcuda. Run away. Thank you. Sure. Let me know how I can help with your latency test, my friend. Say what I type on my next message. I will. Watching like a hawk. Butts. Cool. Only you. Only you, my friend. Only 9 seconds? Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. I would love like that really real time, but I'm also a baby, so like for me having a second of latency is like a cardinal sin. 9 seconds is not bad considering we're on normal latency mode. I am not even on low latency or ultra latency. In the future, I'll make sure that I set up those streams like that so that they are, there's even less. My goal is to be as almost real time as I can be. Yeah, no, it's not bad. Also, Taylor says, I support butts. Cool. Thank you. Watch this thing knock me out. That'd be so annoying. Okay, good. Alright, only 30 more knockouts until we start running away. And John says, thanks, Tay. Yeah, but 30 more knockouts, and then we will be at the best odds for a brilliant Pokemon to have increased shiny odds, which again, such a weird system in Sword and Shield that everybody thought was correct, but it's not. So, you know, just like, sure, whatever. These Corphish. Taylor reports another highway sign in Worcester. Trust the force and wear your seatbelt. Oh shit. Didn't tap the camera. There we go. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, these Corphish have such a weird moveset because they are so high leveled because we are in the post-game Isle of Armor in Pokemon Shield right now. Oh, I should update that too, huh? Whoops. I wonder if this kills my thingy. Fun! That'll be great, Johnny. You'll have a great time doing that. Oh, that's interesting. You can now see that. Really quickly, I'm going to make that disappear. We're going to go back. We're going to go to description. Nope. And I want this to be Sword and Shield. There we go. Now that description should be updated, which is good. And now, boop, counter's back. Awesome. Do you know off the top of your head if there's an item that increases your charisma? So there is a set of items in D&D that are the manuals, and when I say like the manuals, there's a set of items like the so you've watched Critical Role, the manual that Keyleth read to increase her charisma, that is like part of a set of manuals that can all increase skills. That is not super reliable, because again, those items can be used and then have like a 100-year cooldown or something like that. Oh, I also didn't do that again. Whoopsie. There we go. Oops, and I died. The only other thing that kind of strikes me would be like maybe an Ioun Stone. Ah, yeah, Taylor, the mirror in The Sims that gives you the instant charisma boost. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your insight into exactly what we're talking about. That is perfect. Yeah, so John, just get that that specific mirror in The Sims and then give it to your character, and that'll increase your charisma. But yeah. All right. Really quick, I need to get out of here. Although I probably shouldn't. I should probably wait around for a sec. Because if this is the shiny, that'll make me sad. That's like my biggest point of anxiety in shiny hunting. It's like, if I like am about to leave a place, what if the next Pokemon is what's supposed to be the actual shiny, and then like just didn't get run into because you had to leave. So yeah, that's my neuroses for the day. Gauntlets of Ogre Strength, yeah. Only other thing that I can think of, maybe an Ioun Stone? Or... So like an Ioun Stone or a... like there's a whole bunch of like circlets and other specific... Hey Zeraora, how you doing? No, there's one for intelligence as well. Yeah, I honestly can't say I know anything super reliably, but I think that best bet would be... I mean, if there's nothing on... even on like Google that would give you an indication, I think it would be worth checking. Because I would assume that like a whole bunch of like circlets or what are the other items? Like typically it wouldn't be like an armor that gives you charisma boost. It would be either a ring or a circlet or a diadem or like all those different kind of like more jewelry based items. Look up amulets, like that kind of stuff, just because sometimes those can carry enchantments that are more specific to whatever you're looking for. Oh my goodness, my nose, dude. But yeah, the other thing to look at too, I don't know what level y'all are at right now, but looking at feats as well that give you charisma buffs might be a good way to go. Just because when I think of ways to get those buffs, I'm usually not thinking about items outright, because items are much less reliable in terms of like what your DM will give you or what you'll find in any given moment. I would be much more interested in looking at like what feat will give you a +1 to charisma, and then like some like villagers will give you useful information if you spend an hour in a tavern, like something like that. Yes, that is the one, the Tome of Leadership and Influence. That is exactly the item that Keyleth used in Campaign 1. Jesus. That's nuts. Yeah, stat buffs are hard, man. I think that it's hard to... It's also hard to, like, figure out a way that an item can give you a permanent buff to certain statistics. Like, when you think about the lore behind those items, like, yeah, totally. A tome that every 100 years can be read one time by one person. Just hit level 7. Yeah, especially if you're at that level, I think it'll be really important to look at when you get your next set of feats, when you get your next set of stat increases, and buff it manually that way. It sounds like a shitty way to go, especially if you're focusing on that Echo Knight build as much, but you could even think to yourself like, okay, well, I can dedicate 2 points of my build to increasing those physical stats, 1 point of my build to going to the warlock stats, or to like the spellcasting stats. But yeah, I have thoughts on warlock as a class in general. I am not, especially seeing them played, like, you are either hyper utility or hyper damage, and there's no in between. And it kind of also just depends on which route you're going for that. Because what does your spell casting look like as a first level warlock? Is it just everything is a first level spell? And at what point does that change? Warcaster's really fucking good. Really, really fucking good. Warcaster gives you so much baked into one feat that it's almost equivalent to having stat increases in con and charisma outright. It's pretty busted. Pretty busted powerful. Forgot to hit the button again. I'm gonna do that every time. I need to hit the button when I first get to the encounter. That's my problem. So we'll do it that way. There we go. That feels like a better motion to me anyway. Yeah. Warcaster, I think, is rated exactly as it should be, where it's very powerful and it's worth taking on almost any spellcaster. Especially the, yeah, everything. 2 cantrips and 2 first level spell slots, 3 known and 2 slots next level. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. And you're always casting at max level, so it's not like you're gonna have trouble with like the power output on that. Are you looking to use more utility spells, or are you looking to do more damage? Yep. That's nice. Yeah, and as long as your charisma is good along with that, you're not losing out on really anything. Yeah, that's a good call. Does Warlock get magic weapon out of curiosity? Either magic weapon or yeah, no, you're doing great actually. That's pretty good. But yeah, does Warlock get either magic weapon or elemental weapon, whatever those 2 spells are that can turn your weapon into a magical weapon or give it an element for X amount of time? Because that I think would be great for you. I'm gonna step away for 1 more second. I'm actually gonna get a box of tissues to come with me because this is ridiculous. 1 sec. Do 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 do. Yeah, man, if you're looking for some synergy there and you don't have a way to hit ghosts, that's gonna be your way to hit ghosts. I definitely see the synergy there, especially if you take the Hexblade class. The only other one that I think would make sense might be Undead Warlock, which is a newer subclass, but like I think there's so much potential in it. Just because like it goes a couple of different ways, right? Like Warlock's meant to be a versatile class in that you have some melee utility too, but you end up, if you have to go melee, you're going to be putting yourself in potential peril, because your hit point pool is not the highest of all the classes, by either multi-classing like fighter, barb, or paladin with Warlock. You get some really interesting synergy that I really like. Booming Blade, E-Blast, and Armor of Agathis. They are good shit. If you're watching and you're not a D&D person, those are like some of the quintessential Warlock spells. And they are definitely worth using. Yeah, Booming Blade is so cool too, for what it's worth. And having that combination of having Booming Blade for your close encounters and Eldritch Blast for anything that's more than 10 feet away, you're golden. I do not want the fish. I want crab. Absolutely. And again, once you start pumping Echo Knight again, the benefits only get higher and higher. Definitely. Yeah, the buffs on Armor of Agathis as you get higher and higher, especially just the return damage. The return damage is so crazy important. 490. Only 10 more until we start the runaway spree. And what I'll likely end up doing at that point is I will probably take a quick break from shield. I'll probably jump over to home to drop these shinies off so that I can just encounter Corphish faster without having the shiny animation play every time. We'll keep the counter going, but we also don't need this extra 2 seconds of shiny animation every time that we jump in. But yeah. And then we just keep running into Corphish after we do those dailies. Five more. And we'll knock out one more for good measure, just in case. We'll check the Pokedex too, just to be certain. But I'll actually do a moment of research here, just to be safe. That's so complicated. So, After the way that shiny hunting in Sword and Shield works, and again, this is not ideal. Taylor was just like, yeah, Warcaster, I love that city in Massachusetts, like Worcester, except Warcaster. That's hilarious. So the way that shiny mechanics in Sword and Shield work. So once you knock out 500 of a specific species of Pokemon, you have an increased chance to find a shiny Pokemon with a brilliant aura. So because I've battled I know, I looked at it and I was like, ugh, oh no. So once you battle 100 plus Pokemon, you have an increased chance to find a brilliant aura Pokemon of that type. So obviously with Corphish, I do have an increased chance to find brilliant auras, even though I think I've found like one this entire time. But the chance of getting a shiny Pokemon are increased with brilliant Pokemon. So if I run into a brilliant Corphish now, the rate with a shiny charm, with having now knocked out 500, and we'll confirm that in the Pokedex right now. Yep, 509, so we're well over. And I guess in that case, just to be safe, yeah, now the chances of getting a brilliant aura Pokemon as a shiny will be 1 in 455, which is great.